A quiet village surrounded by dense forests and farmlands wakes up to the arrival of an unannounced stranger, the healer, a middle-aged man dressed in tattered robes and carrying a pouch of mysterious herbs, arrives at the village square. Villagers are both intrigued and wary as he announces his healing powers in a booming voice, claiming to cure ailments deemed incurable. A man with a paralyzed leg is brought to the healer. The healer uses strange chants and rubs a pungent ointment on the man's leg. To everyone's astonishment, the man stands and walks. The villagers are amazed but unsettled by the healer's arrogance as he declares, "There is nothing I cannot cure." Whispers spread across the village about the healer's unusual methods. Some believe he is sent by the gods, others think he practices dark magic. The healer's overbearing attitude begins to create resentment among the villagers. Despite their doubts, people with chronic illnesses and deformities line up outside the healer's temporary hut. He continues to perform miracles, curing a blind woman and a child with a festering wound. The healer charges strange prices. Some must give him rare seeds, others their finest. A pregnant woman with an unknown illness seeks the healer's help, but his methods fail for the first time. He accuses the woman of not believing in him enough, angering her family. The villagers start to see cracks in his supposed infallibility. 7-year-old orphan, Abeni, watches the healer from a distance. She lives with her grandmother, who tells her that true healing comes from humility and understanding the spirit of the sick. Abeni begins collecting herbs on her own, mimicking some of the healer's methods but with a gentler touch. The healer refuses to admit fault and grows more arrogant, boasting of his powers. Villagers grow resentful, but his results keep some of them dependent on him. A deadly illness suddenly spreads through the village, leaving many bedridden. The healer claims to have a cure, but his efforts fail repeatedly. Panic spreads. Some villagers begin to turn against him, accusing him of bringing the illness. Abeni quietly tends to the sick with her grandmother, using simple herbal remedies to provide some relief. The healer prepares a dramatic ritual involving fire and rare herbs, claiming it will cure everyone. The ritual fails, and a child dies shortly after being treated by him. The villagers drive the healer out of the square in anger. Abeni finds a young boy critically ill in the outskirts of the village. She uses a mix of her grandmother's teachings and her own instinct to create a remedy. The boy's condition improves overnight, and news spreads quickly. The healer confronts Abeni, accusing her of stealing his methods. She remains calm and tells him that healing is not about power but humility and understanding. The healer scoffs and storms off. His reputation ruins. The village chief, stricken by the illness, asks for Abeni's help. Despite her age, she confidently prepares a remedy and stays by his side throughout the night. By morning, the chief recovers, and he praises Abeni's skill and one by one, villagers begin to seek Abeni's help. Her humility and gentle methods win their hearts, and they start to see the value in her approach. The healer, now isolated and bitter, tries one last time to prove his superiority by treating a critically ill elder. His methods fail, and the elder passes away. The villagers completely turn against him. Abeni demonstrates an uncanny ability to sense the right treatment for each patient. Combining traditional knowledge with her own intuition, her remedies become widely respected, and even elders seek her guidance. The healer, now ostracized, reflects on his failures and arrogance. He realizes that his pride and lack of compassion led him to downfall. The healer approaches Abeni, seeking her forgiveness. Abeni forgives him and teaches him a few of her remedies, emphasizing
the importance of humility. The village thrives as Abeni continues to heal people, and the villagers embrace her teachings. The healer humbly assists her, slowly regaining the villagers' trust. Years later, Abeni grows into a respected healer, passing her knowledge to the next generation. The village remembers her as the child who taught them the power of humility and compassion in healing.
A small hut made of palm fronds and clay, surrounded by herbs and simple tools. Inside, Abeni sits on a straw mat, mixing leaves in a clay bowl, while a patient looks on with hope. The atmosphere is serene, lit by soft sunlight streaming through the cracks in the walls. Abeni's humble healing. Villagers gather in a large open space under a massive baobab tree. Some sit on woven mats, while others stand, listening intently to Abeni, who explains the importance of understanding nature's cures. The sky is clear, and the scene exudes a sense of unity. Abeni addressing the villagers. The once proud healer sits alone near a withered tree, his figure hunched in regret. His face is shadowed, reflecting his shame and loneliness. The background shows an empty, dusty road leading away from the village. The healer's solitude and regret. Abeni kneels beside an elderly woman lying on a woven mat, gently applying a paste to her swollen arm. A small crowd watches in awe from a respectful distance. The setting is the woman's modest compound with clay pots and a mango tree in the background. Abeni healing an elder with compassion. Abeni walks through a misty forest at sunrise, holding a woven basket filled with freshly picked herbs. The light filters through the tall trees, casting a golden glow. Her expression is one of focus and calm as she searches for the perfect plant. Abeni gathering herbs in the forest. Villagers dance and drum around a roaring fire under the night sky, celebrating the healing of the sick. Abeni is carried on the shoulders of a joyful crowd, her face lit with a humble smile. Traditional decorations adorn the scene. The village celebrates Abeni's success. Abeni sits in a circle of children under a shade tree, holding up a leaf and explaining its uses. The children watch attentively, some taking notes on small slate boards. The background shows the vibrant life of the village with women cooking and men working. Abeni passing on her knowledge to the next generation. The healer, now wearing simpler clothes, helps a villager carry a sick child to Abeni's hut. His expression is solemn, reflecting his desire to make amends. Abeni stands at the hut's entrance, welcoming them with an understanding look. The healer seek. Abeni prepares a special brew in a clay pot over a small fire while a pale child lies nearby on a straw bed. The scene is intimate, with Abeni's calm demeanor contrasting the worried faces of the child's parents. Abeni curing a rare illness. The entire village gathers in the square to honor Abeni. She stands before them, holding a woven basket filled with gifts like fruits and herbs, given as tokens of gratitude. The backdrop features colorful traditional decorations and a festive atmosphere. The village celebrates Abeni's contributions. The healer kneels beside Abeni as they work together on a new remedy. He listens carefully as she explains each step, a look of genuine respect on his face. The setting is Abeni's healing hut, with herbs hanging from the ceiling and tools neatly arranged. The healer and Abeni working together. Abeni, now a young adult, stands on a hill overlooking the thriving village. The sky is vibrant with colors of sunset, symbolizing hope and renewal. She holds a bundle of herbs in one hand and smiles, imagining a future where her teachings continue to grow. Abeni's vision of a prosperous future. Abeni sits alone on a rock by a gently flowing stream, her basket of herbs by her side. The sun sets in the background, casting a warm orange glow on the water. Her face shows a mix of thoughtfulness and contentment. Abeni, reflecting by the village chief, now fully recovered, stands in the square, raising his hands in gratitude toward Abeni. Villagers clap and cheer, with children running around joyfully. Abeni stands humbly at the side, her eyes lowered. Label: the chief publicly honors Abeni. Abeni kneels before the village shrine, cleaning its base and placing fresh herbs and flowers as offerings. The shrine is a simple clay structure, with carvings of traditional symbols. Elders watch her with approval from a distance. Abeni rejuvenates the village shrine. The healer returns to the village square, standing beside Abeni with a modest demeanor. Together, they address a crowd of villagers, pledging to work together for the village's well-being. The villagers listen attentively, with hope on their faces. Label: Abeni and the healer join forces. Abeni sits by her grandmother's bedside, listening to her soft words of advice. The small hut is lit by an oil lamp, and the air feels calm. The grandmother smiles weakly, her hand resting on Abeni's. The grandmother's wisdom shared. Abeni and a group of villagers plant herbs and crops together in a newly cleared field. The scene is filled with activity, some dig, others water the soil. The energy is positive, with laughter and smiles all around. Abeni leads the community garden effort. On a stormy night, Abeni works tirelessly in her hut, grinding herbs into a paste while thunder rumbles outside. A sick child lies on a mat, their parents watching anxiously. Abeni's focus remains unwavering despite the storm's chaos. Abeni healing during the storm. A vibrant village scene shows children playing, adults working, and a few young apprentices learning from Abeni in her garden. Abeni smiles as she hands a young girl a friendly picked herbs, symbolizing the continuation of her knowledge. In the heart of the village, under the ancient baobab tree, elders, children, and villagers gather for a special ceremony to honor Abeni. She kneels humbly as the village chief places a beaded crown on her head and hands her a carved staff symbolizing wisdom and leadership. The villagers cheer, drums beat rhythmically, and flowers are scattered around her feet. The sky is bright, and the scene radiates joy and unity. This concluding scene encapsulates Abeni's journey and highlights her acceptance and recognition by the community. It serves as a powerful and inspiring ending to the story.